hopefully they can trust us, you know?
Trust. That's a big word, man. That's a what, Trust. Oh, that's 5 letters.
Yeah. One syllable. And it has huge meaning.
What does it mean to you?
To me, trust. Earning someone's respect while knowing they can do something what they say they can do. Unscripted.
Yeah, no, it is. It's totally
Um,
unscripted. It's putting your faith in. Yeah, I was talking to my wife.
yeah.
I was talking to my wife and my daughter on the plane ride home. You know, faith, hope, trust. These and what's hope? You know, I mean, what is hope? What do you got to hope in? And I say hope. I have an intention. I have an intention, and it is for your good. I have an intention, and it is for you. It is not against you. I have an intention for you. And so that hope, you know, it's like hope unseen. And I got, you know, my daughter painted that thing for me. Faith
Nice.
can
Okay.
move mountains, right? Faith can move mountains, but what is that? Faith can move mountains, and then hope. What are you putting your hope in? Are you putting your hope in? What's the difference between hope and intent?
Hope is something you're trying to accomplish, reach for, kind of like a dream. Intention is something that's planned that you're going to accomplish. Intention, you know, it's you intend to do something, you know, and let's break it down, you know. Intention, you're intending to do something, so you're doing something, whatever it is, you know.
Do you have a foreseeable outcome in an
There you
intention?
go. Yeah,
You have a foreseeable
foreseeable
outcome.
outcome. Yeah.
In attention, you have a picture, you have a clear vision in your mind. And when this clear vision in your mind involves another human being or situation or business venture, you know, they're people, right? They're people. We used to, in my real estate company, we used to always say, um, there are never any problem properties. They're never in the properties are never the problem. It's the people that have perceived problems, perceptions of problems that they don't have an idea of solutions for at the moment. They're people problems.
Yeah.
They're not real estate problems. And you know, we talk about environmental and those things but in reality, you know, somebody's problem is another person's solution, and your company's name is Property Solution Systems.
Right.
And did I understand that you are a professor, or you have a?
It was on the agenda, uh, and until things changed with a collegiate mentor who passed away of tongue cancer,
Oh,
and I was working on a master's thesis about Japanese American communities in Orange County, Southern California. And at the same time, excuse me here, my cat Bobber's here.
it's cool.
Hey, hi, Bobbers. That same mentor wanted me to work on a dissertation while working on a master's thesis at the same time. And it was a subject that no one wanted to touch. And I decided to do it because I kind of started working on it unknowingly already. And it was about California Indian economic progression from 1500 to about 1855.
What did you?
And
Wow, what intrigued you so much about that you wanted to endeavor
well,
and dive into the history?
well,
Like,
it's kind of intriguing actually. It's how you have a society of hunter gatherers trading with other tribes with items they need. You know, they needed flint, they needed tools, food, whatever. You know, they would trade with tribes along the coast and travel back with fish, you know, for earthenwares that they couldn't have on the coast. You know, they used beads of shell beads as money, and it just progressed from there. You know, as the Europeans came in, they started getting new implements. You know, just not tools, but new implements, European wares, I should just say, and they learned how to incorporate these new items into their daily lives, and they found out how useful these are, and it just kind of progressed. And they started learning these new economic trends. One of these new economic trends is money. They didn't know what money was because they just traded with stuff that they needed, earthenwares, implements, that type of thing, food. Now they have some kind of value system where they bought other things from other people, other things that they didn't have. Instead of just trade, they bought and exchanged wares with money. And as time went on, gold came into the picture, and they started working gold mines along with everybody else. Little known fact. And they would go into these gold mining stores and buy picks and axes, whatever they needed, food or whatever, and paid with gold. And in the accounting ledgers I found up at the Bancroft Library in Berkeley is in these accounting ledgers from gold mining store merchants, they had Indians in the back of their accounting ledgers, never defaulting on their payments because they never let it go to payments. They paid with cash every time. Cash is king, gold, you know, and they never borrowed money because they didn't need to. That's why they never had to do loans and bring up the store bills because they didn't have to. They had cash. They had the gold. And they learned that monetary system, and that's basically where I left off. And in California, some of the tribes started with the casinos, and they got there starting with bingo. So they started with bingo, getting their licenses to build that empire up, their casinos up into, you know, bingo, and then the cards, and then the slot machines into these new casinos that everybody is aware of out in California now.
I grew up with slot machines in my house. My grandfather and my dad collected slot machines. They were they were avid. They would go to. We had card tables at the house. We don't talk about this too much, but yeah, they used to collect the antique slot machines and then the mechanical ones, the new, ones that would light up, and they would have silver dollars made out of stainless steel. Um,
Stamped and all that as well.
yeah, I remember my grandma she lived in that bingo parlor, you know.
Yeah.
But what you're describing is, you're talking about a nation, you're talking about a culture that didn't have any debt, that figured out another system, and that's what intrigued you. So that's fascinating to me.
Yeah.
That you okay. So what are you doing with that knowledge? What are you doing with that information? How does it apply today in your life?
As of now, Rick, it would be learning new trades. My background that I've dealt with for the last 25, 30 years was in the motorcycle industry. And before that was into drag racing, selling drag racing parts. Yeah. At a place called Super Shops because everybody deserves performance. home of the BF Goodrich tires, so as low as $39.95. I can't remember. I can't even believe I still remember that catchphrase, that commercial. That was from their commercial from Super Shops back in the day.
I remember hearing it on the radio all the time.
Yeah, you know, I still remember it for some reason. And um, so that's my background, you know, motorcycles, racing,
Growing up
car.
in Southern California, you hear that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so dealing with parts and service, managerial directorships or director positions in this field, you know, I left it and came out to Las Vegas because I met my wife, my lovely wife, Maggie. And I worked at a local dealership out here. I won't say the name. And, but after that, I went into the airline industry and I worked for Allegiant Airlines as an AOG buyer. And that's aircraft on ground. And that's basically when a plane can't fly during a revenue flight, scheduled flight. So it's on the tarmac and it can't go anywhere because there's something wrong with it. And it was my job to get the part there, locate it, procure it, and get it there logistically within hours so we can get that flight back up and running without losing any more revenue, without losing a customer base, without having upset the customers that are on the flight that have their plans uninterrupted as best as we could. So to answer your question is, now I'm going into the real estate industry with no knowledge of it whatsoever. And my new endeavor, I want to say, is going to complement my property solution systems business with solar.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
So,
You get into this story, and this is that life unscripted, but you're
yeah,
doing life on purpose. And when you have solutions, you know, when you have something that is thought out and something that is executed and something that you can perform with, um, yeah, and that's that solar. That's what we were talking about. That was our conversation, because the one thing
yeah,
that I knew that I had in my quiver that I could add value instantly, at least I thought, you know, because in going into any relationship, I recognize, you know, it's not about me. It's not about me. You're the same way. I know
mhm,
that. Dude, that's why there was that connection, because we were talking story.
yeah,
And then when you talk story and you learn about people, you want to help them naturally get to where they want to go and be who they want to be and have all the tools to do and have all those things, and you just naturally want to share those things.
yeah,
And that's what I got to do with you, with one of my mentors, Wally.
yeah, yeah,
And I shared the experience. We talked about solar. I'm not the expert in solar, yet I'm the solar coach. Why am I the solar coach? Why is my partner Steve the solar coach? Well, because we got to harness all of the smart people, all the people that are in the business that have been doing this, that have got all of the time invested, and we partnered with them. And so
hmm
I partnered with Wally, and we presented the information. What was it about that? What was the experience for you? Because I have an internal representation, but what was your experience? That's more important.
The experience was really pleasing. It wasn't a sales pitch. It was a presentation, and yourself and Wally let me decide what I needed to decide on if I wanted to do this or not. You know, and in these times during COVID, times are uncertain. You don't know what money's going to be like, and I'm all about trying to save money for my household. And if it's $20 here, $10 there, I'm saving money. I mean, I'm a little frugal, but then again, you know, I have toys in the garage, so that kind of lets you know how I am. I'm trying to be frugal in the household, but for me as an individual, as Tom, I like to have my toys, my motorcycles, and go play with the motorcycles. So I'm trying to be frugal there, but when it comes to my toys, I need to spend a little bit more on the toys. So I mean, it doesn't really equate, but that's part of me. But that whole presentation, it was a no-brainer. I mean, it's going to save me this much during the summer, and it, the biggest thing is, see, I'm not going to be keeping this house for 5 years.
Mm.
I'm going to let it grow as far as get as much equity as I can into it and buy that property with that house that has the land on it, that doesn't have the HOA. I bought this house because of how the open floor plan was with all the windows. My wife just fell in love with it. And when that happens, well, I'm a happy man.
Mama's happy, everybody's happy.
Exactly,
You got more disposable income, mama's even more happy.
Right,
Yeah.
So without the pressure of your typical salesperson, if you don't, but wait, if you act now, well, there's this included, it wasn't none of that. It was a basic, how should I say this? It was a basic presentation showing me things that I didn't really know that made sense. And and it made sense for me to get the solar because it's going to save me money. But when we were originally talking, well, not on the first day when we first met, but throughout the time, you sent me a video, and that video made sense. So knowing that I'm helping people with their real estate situations, another property solution system that I'm going to have in the plate now is solar.
Yeah.
That's why I did it. I want to get solar from my own house so I can give my experience to the people I'm going to present to. Notice how I said I didn't sell. I'm not going to sell. I'm going to present. And give them my experience with the whole situation, month after month of having it, what kind of savings I'm having compared to not having it. And I think it's going to be a great compliment, a great relationship for both of them, for the real estate investing and the solar. So
Well, I know it's going to be fun because we're doing it together. That's anytime that you can have a product or a tool or something that you can add value to other human beings, in this case power, in this case energy, in this case teaching people how to generate their own power, how to generate their own revenue. Listen, you've been paying the utility company, you've been renting from the utility company as long as you've owned a house. I mean, you want to own the house, or do you want to? You don't know what you don't know. And so today it's about education.
right.
Today it is about education. And I've come to this place in my life where I remember it's not about me anymore. It's about who we're serving. I've had, I don't want to be sold. I don't want to be sold. What I want to be is I want to be educated, and I want to make a
Yep.
decision. I don't want to feel like, dude, you're wasting my time.
Yeah.
Why would you
Yeah.
want to convince it? Just help me understand, help me come to an understanding of why this should be good, for me.
Mm-hmm.
And number one, if it's not good for you, number one, I'm not even here to play with you. Why would I even want to? I don't want to. That's not who we are.
Yeah.
But you found something inside of what I'd shared with you inside the relationship with my friend Steve, my partner Steve in the solar coach.
We'll
And
talk about Clifford here in a little bit.
okay, we'll do that. We're gonna have
Clifford's
to.
also a good man.
Oh, Clifford's off the hook. This is yeah. We'll talk
But
about
that
Clifford.
also complements everything too. So I mean, why not?
Well,
sorry to interrupt you, Rick. Sorry.
no, it's good. It's good flow because Steve is always in the background, and he very rarely comes to the surface. But he's my dude. You'll meet him one day. He teaches me Kali, which is, get this, Filipino knife fighting. Look it up, Kali. And I never saw myself ever as being able to do this. but I'm playing at such a high level with his instructions and that of my friend Clifford, of our friend Clifford, right?
Mhm.
The mindset, the body, you make the connection, the mind, body, spirit connection,
Right.
and you're lining up on all those cylinders. You're firing and wiring, and you are surrounded with those people that are, man, you are unstoppable. There's nothing that you can't do. And that's what, that's what we get to play with.
Yeah.
Steve's doing things on the back end that you hardly ever see. He's just got such a brain and an incredible heart. Clifford can see the depth of the darkness and the lightest of the light, and he will hold the space for you and be there. And that's when I met him in person this weekend. He's so much brighter, so much brighter. And I knew, like, is that you're meeting a childhood friend. You're meeting somebody that is, and when you say the stars align, dude, you're not, I mean, that's just not metaphorical. That's like,
It's literally.
it's literal.
I mean, there's no other way to explain it. I mean, right from the day one, Rick, I mean, that's how it felt. I mean, you had Pluto, Venus, Saturn, everything just lined up, and it's awesome.
Well, I'm excited for your journey. I'm excited that we're playing together. I'm just excited to be part of your journey, man. I asked you before, and I'll continue to ask you, because this is what we do for our friends, right?
Mhm.
We love our friends. We say, how do you want me to present you to the world? How do you want me to see you so that I can hold you as that, and I can see that in you? So
Yeah.
we'll
I may
circle.
not answer it directly, but I'm gonna have to make you think about it.
That's
That's how I am.
Well, I appreciate the
I like to have people think and use their mind instead of just going off your first impression. Your first impressions are good, but in order to know somebody, you have to actually talk with them like what we're doing, and that's what makes that connection special. And you get to figure out how that person really is, not just by that first.
a lot of people are skeptical about relationships that are built online, right? We've got the ability to do Zoom. We've got the ability to do, Facebook Messenger. All of these tools are for connectivity.
Yeah.
And especially if you're you're feeling isolated or you're feeling like you're cooped up, we're playing in a world where we're touching people every day, and
Mm-hmm.
from this,
Yeah.
from this.
I mean, we're there in person live. I mean, how different is that going to be besides being in person? We're virtually there in person, but spiritually, we're still connecting.
Absolutely.
You
I've
know,
got to go look on Facebook here because we are live. Let's see, what do we got going?
we've been jumping from 1 to 3.
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to what the as far as numbers are concerned. I see my friend Steven from Sarasota, Florida. Thank you, brother, for tuning in.
Mike Chavez, thanks for watching for a little bit.
And yeah, anybody that's like, if you
Yeah.
showed up, right, and you're actually paying attention, that is the greatest gift that you can give another human being. And I want to say what we're sharing with you today is our practice of presence, of being present with one another, because this is how stuff gets really done. You pay attention, and you pay attention to what's important. And I'm paying attention to what's important to Thomas. Thomas is paying attention to what's important to me. And when we do that for one another, man, look out, there's nothing we can't do.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Just don't answer the phone when you're having lunch or dinner with the family.
that one's etched now. There's a balance, I mean, when you get into a business, when you get into a place where you know that everything that you're doing is contributing to your family, to every conversation that you
There is
have.
a fine line.
There is, and then
And yeah,
but like my wife said, look, we're here right now. And this is my wife's words. She's the smartest woman in the world. I mean, she's got my heart, right? She says, we're here right now, and we want to be with you.
right now.
And right now, we're here. You want to talk about presence? Be present, right? Be present. Man, I can get mad all I want for a minute, but that's the truth. When somebody's asking for your presence and you're not being there, then man, you better. So yeah, that was my bad. Took me a minute. That's the reality.
We're here, so it's all good.
No, we get to have fun though, but we learn, right? We learn together. That's all. We learn together. Thomas.
It's the same in my household. I mean, my wife works all day. I'm here with the kids in the morning, and I take them out to the babysitter so I can do what I need to do in the afternoon and go pick them up. And then when my wife gets home, I spend time with her and the kids. And because I want to do that, and she also wants it that way as well. I mean, a family unit isn't really a family unit when someone's out doing something when they can be doing this with them.
Yeah, I was kind of impressed the other day when you said, make sure you get some Pink Castle in. You were talking about playing with your daughter because you're playing Pink Castle and ponies with your daughter. You go, hey, make sure you get some Pink Castle in today. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, you got to play with your kids. If you want your healthy relationships with your kids, play with them. I try. Well, the latest thing my daughter likes to do is play office. So if I need to go upstairs and do some work, let's go play office. And I bring up her chair, and she sits right down next to me on my desk, and we bring crayons and a coloring book, and she works on her coloring book as I, do text messaging campaigns or uploading emails into my CRM or whatever, in the back end. And she's there spending time with me, and she's working in her coloring book as I work on the business. Or we'll play Pink Castle. And that kind of makes me cringe because that means it's time to play horsey on daddy's back. So she actually has a pink castle in the bedroom, and with wooden blocks, red, green, blue, natural wood blocks, and we build things in that. And then when we're done with that, that's when it's horsey time. She likes to jump on daddy's back and go, giddy up, Jesse, from Toy Story. So.
Oh, that brings
Jesse,
oh yeah. Yeah, my kids used to tackle me. They'd tackle me and wrestle me from the ground down. They were like, it's time to get dad.
And then Tristan jumps in the game and starts jumping on my lumbar area. Abby's on my upper back going, yeehaw, daddy, and I'm just, it's hysterical. I mean, they're just having a blast jumping on daddy, and it's, for me, it's special because I'm just going to say it, Rick, my dad wasn't there for me to do that. So I'm letting my kids do that to me because I want them to have that experience. I want them to say, yes, I played Pink Castle with my dad. I played horsey with my dad. I played with my dad. I played office with my dad. Those are special times for me, and I cherish them because I had that with my dad. There we go.
Well, I appreciate that more than you know. I had a lot of time. I was very fortunate to spend a lot of time with my dad when I was a kid. I worked with him. And so I would go to work every day at 5 o'clock in the morning. We would go take the register of the gas pumps. My dad had a Unical 76 and a muffler and brake shop. in San Diego.
Oh,
Right up
funny.
right up the hill from Jack Murphy Stadium.
Oh, funny.
My dad wanted to gas up, though. He wanted to power up the world with gas, right? I mean, that's what he did. And he used to take care of the little old ladies that would come into the shop and keep them on par. And I would pump gas and wash all the windows and
Oh,
fill their
funny.
tires and
All right, Eric, you ready for this?
yeah, I'm ready for it.
My dad worked at a 76 station in Brentwood.
Ah, okay. Where's
Okay.
Brentwood, L.A.,
LA,
Brentwood.
Los
Yep,
Angeles, right?
yep,
Part of LA County.
yep.
Right up the street from where Nicole Brown used to live.
Okay, yeah, Nickel Brown.
He worked at a place, it was right on the corner of La Cienega and something else. And the block wasn't really a block, it was more of a triangle. So this gas station was at the very tip of the triangle block. And it was John Coleman's Union 76. And that's where my dad worked. He worked out as a mechanic. And yeah, that's what my dad did.
I grew up turning a wrench with my old man.
76.
Yeah, and your dad
Yeah.
grew at 76. The synchronicities, right? All of these
Yeah.
little pieces that.
See, and it's still continuing to grow, man. I mean, how special is this? I'm honored.
Me as well. Me as well.
I'm
Well,
honored.
this is living life unscripted, man. These are the kind of relationships you can build. This is our Ohana. This is our solar coach. This is our Pono quest. This is our pursuit to be the highest ideal of ourselves. I am just sharing those people with you, people like Thomas, who have the intent to show up as their authentic, their highest ideal of themselves in pursuit of seeing that in others. Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to do that, right? You couldn't recognize that in me if that wasn't you.
Right.
That's that's the guy like Clifford, right? That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Guys like that. That's superhero stuff. I read his small little book on this super. It's so it embodies him, and you just I got 100 books. I'll give them away. I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy to give them to my friends and put them in their hands. If you want one of his books, A Superhero in You, I'll send it to you. Or you can go and you can get it on Amazon.
It's
I mean,
$4.99, and
$5. It's nothing, I mean,
yeah, he's trying to get to the bestseller list. So let's help him out, everybody. I mean, last time I checked, he was like number 16 or number 15. So if you want to help yourself, invest in yourself, get the Superhero in You by Clifford Starks. It's a transformational read. I can hear his voice when I read it.
I watch his videos, man. I listen to his. It's really cool to have him as a friend and to be able to bounce at such a high level. Like when you called me this afternoon, it was funny because I was sitting outside, I'm in the sun, I'm reflecting, and I was in just like this Zen moment, and then bam, the phone rings, and it's Thomas Fujii. I'm like, dude, you're at such a high vibration, man. You must have just tapped into. How'd you tap into that, man? Where are you at? Because I know where I am. Oh, good stuff.
That's a different Zoom call.
All right, all right.
Uh,
No, thank you, Thomas. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to.
No, thank you, Rick, and I'm looking forward to the journey, and I'm looking forward to write the story along with you on my side.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your
Thank you.
presence.
You're welcome. Thank you for being present.
And thank you guys for tuning in, for paying attention, for just showing up. And all right, well, I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day, and go love up on everybody you're with, man. Make the world the place you want it to be.
And be good at it. All right, Rick.
Aloha.
All right, talk to you.